Welcome back to another Beyond Awesome, where we talk to Beyond Awesome people, talk about Beyond Awesome topics. I am super pumped because we finally got Tara to actually join this thing. But before we get to her, Heather, how are you today?
I am doing great, Jason. What about you?
I'm Beyond Awesome, and what I will say is I have the same jacket on from our other recording today, and you changed jackets, so I'm going to call you out.
Always.
You're acting like it's a different day. I'm telling everybody out in the world it's not a different day. No, but Tara, this is all about you. I joke about it, but I think so highly of you. I respect you immensely. I love when we get together and we talk, and we always have so much great things to talk about. So I'm really pumped about having you on today. So thank you for taking the time.
No, thanks for inviting me. And yeah, I have been, dodging and weaving this for almost, 6 months? No, just kidding. It's been like a comedy of errors trying to get me on this thing. But I'm really excited to be here today with both of you.
Yeah, it's not Heather or my fault at all. It's always been your fault. Moving on. I'm just kidding.
Lies, Jason. Lies.
Oh my gosh. It would have been like, we were like 4 or 5 into it of moving it around. And then I was like, Heather, I can't do it today. And I thought I was like putting my head on my desk. I'm like, it's my fault now. So yes, it was not completely you. But you know what? For all the people that don't know you, which is surprising if they don't, right? But I'd love for more people to get to know you like Heather and I know you. Tell us a little bit about yourself. Who are you?
Yeah. So my name's Tara Newman. I'm the VP of Global Events for Kaseya. So I'm in charge of give or take 60 to 70 events a year worldwide.
Just a few.
Just a small amount. The big ones, of course, being GlueX, which you can see right here. This is an image of our stage that we recorded from in Boston. You guys were there for that. Connect IT Global, which happens in Vegas every year. Connect IT EMEA, which is in Amsterdam. And then our APAC event, which is coming back in February 2022.
I'm going to say I think Amsterdam was one of my favorite trips, and not because the way people think, right? What you think of Amsterdam. I'm talking about like in the town square, people are sitting outside having coffee, people are riding their bikes around, families are walking. I'm like, this is Amsterdam. This is what I thought different parts of Europe was. So I actually really enjoyed Amsterdam. But are you married? What do you do for fun on your free time?
Yes, I'm married. My husband is an IP lawyer. We have Atlanta United tickets, which is a soccer team in Atlanta. We have season tickets to that. That's at the Mercedes-Benz Stadium, which is the best stadium in the world. Come fight me about it. In my free time, we also have tickets to the theater. We have the Broadway ticket subscription. Oh. I ride, I play board games. Heather and I are basically the same people. So whatever Heather would have answered is probably what I would have answered too.
I love that. And I did notice that you guys were like kindred spirits just from the beginning, right? You guys just hit it off immediately, which makes me just so happy because I think so highly of Heather. I think so highly of you, and you guys are just amazing people. So let me ask you this. What's something that might shock people about that they don't know about you?
It's a good question. So before I joined the...
Wait, did you hear that, Heather? I asked a good question, just so you know.
Yeah, kind of.
It happens every now and again. Something that might shock people is that before I got into the channel, my degree is actually a master's in public administration, the specialty in international affairs. And I did work for the US Congress in intelligence work, doing intelligence studies with the intelligence departments. Don't get excited. It wasn't like spy v spy stuff, but
kind of though.
It was fun.
It was very cool though. Like you worked in Congress. I think that's amazing. I actually want to talk more about that with you offline maybe. Okay, let me ask you something else, which that is something I didn't know about you. So I'm going to be shocked if anybody else knows it. What's your favorite movie of all time? We can give you examples from us.
No,
if you want.
No, because we talked about this at GlueX when you were recording. So you already know my answer. So if I change it, you're going to call me out.
Oh, so no, I won't. You can say whatever you want. You can change your mind.
I mean, I'll be honest. My favorite movie of all time is, and this is only because it's the first movie that pops in my head when you say it. I think I have a lot of favorite movies,
Same.
A lot. But the one that pops in my head is The Fifth Element with Bruce Willis.
That's right. I actually forgot that you said that. Yes. And you know what? I hadn't seen that movie in years.
Yeah.
It's on my list to watch again because of you bringing that up. So This is just me being selfish, making a list of movies to watch. I just want to be clear. That's why I asked the question. No, I found that it's something that's so important to me, movies and watching them offline. And, you know, it's the only way I can shut my brain off. And it's really bad. Like, I need something to focus on. But when I picked mine's Christmas Vacation, and the reason I picked it is because I take so much pride in being a father. I go crazy at Christmas. It's by far my favorite holiday. Family can be fun or not sometimes. So it's just, it really relates to me. Why would you say you picked Fifth Element? Just because of the entertainment factor?
I think
factor?
The bombastic nature
Ooh,
of the movie. Like, I could watch it 100 times and still be entertained, still laugh. I think that the humor isn't, I think the humor is timeless. I think when you look back at like a lot of 90s or early 2000s movies, the humor dates itself. You're like, oh.
It for sure does. But if we grew up in that, I did for sure, right? But
I think even now, Fifth Element is just, it's strangely a solid sci-fi movie, as well as being just a phenomenal comedy. And who doesn't love Ruby Rod? Like,
oh,
really.
I know.
Exactly.
I mean, really, seriously, every movie she's in is just phenomenal. Okay, I got one more, and then I'm gonna pass it over to the better part of this half of duo. What do you love about working with Bitdefender?
Can I say you guys?
You can.
Am I allowed to?
You can say Heather first too. It's okay. I won't be offended.
I just think we have such a great personal relationship that anytime I can get you, you know, involved in what we're doing and get to interact with you, it's a good day. It's a good day for me. So I love it. And Jason, we were talking offline about this, but I think this business really is based on personal relationships.
Oh, for sure.
And, you know, I think we have a great one. So
we do. And I actually, you know, I have a handful of really good partners, but Kaseya, I just feel like it's an extension of our family, right? When we get together, it's like seeing old friends, but it's deeper than that, because the way Kaseya approaches business is the way we do, and we just synergize so well together on the business. I was just on a QBR with Kaseya earlier today, and it was just, we laughed half the time, and it was executive leadership from your company. And why can't all calls be like that? You know, why can't we all just have a good time and work towards a common goal and do things? And I wish everybody was like that, but thank you for saying that, Tara, because that's exactly what we love about Kaseya, is our relationship with you and the other people on your team and the people we work with. It's just, it's when Heather calls me, go, okay, we got to go to this event, and it's with Kaseya, I'm like, I'm in, let's do it. Let's have some fun. It's always fun.
Oh, you guys.
Oh yeah, definitely. Back at you. All right, Heather, you're up.
Okay, my first question is around the future of events. I think a lot of people are trying to figure out how to manage and what events are going to look like going forward. What's your thought on that, and how are you approaching it?
So our thoughts, I mean, I'm going to say something that in no way is going to be shocking to anyone on this call, but events are going to be hybrid for the next few years.
Wait, what?
I mean, they just are. I know, right? Oh my gosh. So you really have to think about, as you're designing events, we're used to designing for live events. And now, you know, those of us who pivoted into the digital world, we're really used to designing now for digital events. But a hybrid event is really not just one event. It's really running two events simultaneously and praying to God it all works well, is really what it's going to be. So the big thing is learning how to do that. Finding platforms and management tools that allow you to really successfully implement two events at the same time, and not go crazy in the process. I think the other thing that is really important when it comes to the future of events is planning engagement points between those two audiences, right? It's not just having two events. It's about having those events somehow come together and form a connection between the folks that are live and the folks that are virtual, because whether you are live or virtual, you are still an attendee. You're an attendee, you have goals and thoughts, and you have the ability, and you want to have the ability to bring those two audiences together so they can learn from each other, engage with one another, and connect with one another. And that's my big, I would say, rock for Connect IT coming up in Vegas, is how are we going to bring those two audiences together? How are we going to create those engagement points? How are we going to get people networking and, you know, feeling like this is truly one community, even though someone's going to be in Vegas with us and someone's going to be at home on their computer?
You know what makes it exciting for me, Tara? I love the way you talked about that, but what makes me excited is we're going to be able to reach a lot more people now.
That's
Because
true.
when we did the events and we all went there, not everybody could or can or want to, right? But if there's an event, let's say in Vegas, and it's also hybrid online, we're going to be able to reach a multitude more people. So that's exciting to me because the message is so important, right? The ease of use and the feature functionality that Kaseya brings, our security that we bring, and you combine that together. I want to talk to as many people that will listen. I don't care how we get to them. I just want to get to them.
The accessibility of these big
Yes.
which was really limited before to, like you said, people who could afford to fly and stay at a hotel and buy the ticket and do the whole thing. The accessibility that has really now cracked open. And I really hope that people take advantage of that. Like if you have not been to one of these big events, whether it's Connect IT or one of our competitor events, though it should be Connect IT, I hope you take advantage of the virtual experience because it should still be a phenomenal one and it should still create those engagement points. And I think that if you've never been to one, this will hopefully change your mind.
Yeah, give it a shot, right? If you if you like against it, in the middle, or for it, just give it a shot no matter what. Because you'd be surprised, I think. The one you guys just did was phenomenal, by the way.
Thank you.
Really well organized.
So my follow-up to that is around engagement. I obviously have hosted a lot of events as well as attended a lot of other companies' events. And I would say with attendees, you have somehow cracked the code on having attendees that are truly engaged and want to learn. How have you done that maybe somebody could replicate?
I think some of it, honestly, has nothing to do with me. Some of it is just our customers. We are blessed with customers who are earnestly growing, earnestly looking to learn, are just, I think we have the best customers in the market, but they are, they're mature and they come to these events in order to find out how do I reach that next level. And they are concerned with quality and they are concerned with achievement. And so they're interested in getting this thought leadership. They are interested in engaging with vendors. They're not just there for the free t-shirt. Don't get me wrong, free t-shirts help. I think the other thing is what I just mentioned. You have to create engagement points. You have to design that into your event. And some of those things can be as obvious as we just gave away a car, for instance, right? We gave away a Jeep Gladiator at GlueX. Is giving away a big prize, or as little as just having gamification where, you get rewarded and promoted at the end. People like acknowledgement. So create engagement points where they become acknowledged. That's really all to say.
One thing that I think you mentioned that I personally think separates you is you mentioned thought leadership. I think a lot of companies don't necessarily think through what matters to the customer, and they care more about what the vendor wants to say, and that's great, but there is a way for those two things to align, getting a vendor's message, but in a way that matters to the customer. And I think you do a really good job of that.
Thank you. I do think that that's something that in our market, unfortunately, a lot of the bigger conventions are just nonstop ads. And don't get me wrong, it's a selling convention. I'm not going to lie about that, right? Like, we're hoping to sell you on new stuff. We're hoping you buy some stuff from our vendors. Like, that's just going to be what we're hoping for. But if you're not bringing in the value add, if you're not bringing in the reason why people want to come and engage, people are going to stop coming, right? Parties can only be so good. Right.
I want to touch on something right before you started. You said it's got nothing to do with me. And I adore that you said that, because that is the true leadership feeling, and the way to approach business is the way you just said it. It's all about team. It's not just about you. That's exactly how I am too. And I know Heather's the same way. So there's no I in team, there is in win, but that's winning after you're with the team, right? So it's one of those things. But I just love, and I wanted to point that out. I really adore that you said that.
And so I guess my last question, or just open-ended comment, is what would you want somebody to know that you haven't said yet?
Oh.
What would I want someone to know that I haven't said yet?
Yeah, putting you on the spot.
Oh gosh, I think I'm actually gonna, I'm out here promoting myself and talking about events and everything that I do, but really it's not me. I mean, going back to what Jason said, I have the most phenomenal team in the universe. I think we're the, I have to think we're the best, right? Because otherwise, why did I pick them? But they are honestly, they make me look good. They make my job easy. It takes an army to put one of these together. It's not just my team members. It's then all of the design people behind us. It's all of the copywriters behind us. It's all the content creators behind us. It takes hundreds of people to put on one of these events. And I am just so thankful to have the group behind me that I have behind me, because they make it fun and they make it look easy. It's not easy, but they make it look easy.
I would say take everything you just said, and that's exactly how I feel about my team as well. And the other point that you said was they better be the best because you picked them. That's the same thing with me. So I better think they're the best. But just like you, I know they're the best. But Tara, thank you so much for taking the time today. We really appreciate you, stepping out of what your role is and what you're doing, and just having some time to talk with us. We think so highly of you and so highly of Kaseya, and we appreciate everything we do together on a daily, weekly, monthly, yearly business. It's never going to end, and we're friends for life. So you're never going to get rid of me, I'll tell you that much. And I think Heather the same thing. And then Heather, thank you for making this happen. I know I say this all the time, but you deserve the credit, right? I'm just getting on here and being crazy and throwing my hands around, but you actually are making this happen. So I appreciate everything you do as well. And everybody that took their time today to, spend a little bit of time with us. We appreciate it. If you think you're awesome, you probably are. Give us a call. We'll love to have you on. And go out and make something positive in this world. If you're not smiling, make yourself smile. You'll probably make someone else smile. Now you got 2 people smiling. Nothing better than that. Thank you, everybody. Have a great day. Bye-bye.
Thanks, everyone.